TV, where we dig deep into the honest stories of real estate entrepreneurs and the actual projects they are building.
I think for me personally, at that point, I was like, okay, if we're going to have 4, 6, 8 projects going on at one time, back then we were getting really into the nitty gritty of walking the properties, multiple times a week, and we would get with our contractor and like really getting into the weeds about every house. And what we had started to hear from others that have scaled, it was like, you need to take a step out and look at things as a big picture.
Mm.
So for me, that's when I started taking, I took a step out. I really dug into our budgets a lot more since then and started looking at different trends. And then we started meeting off-site more with our general contractor rather than on the actual projects. And like Lauren had said, now we have a 2-hour-long meeting, mandatory. We never miss it. And this is going on a few months now, on Tuesdays from 12 to 2, where we look at each project.
Everybody that comes in the franchise system has done something different. Like they've had a unique kind of career and experience. And one of the things that's I most enjoy is seeing how those skills in a previous career actually translate to this.
So in the beginning, when we first started, I created Google Docs for material orders that I was doing. And I remember Mike kept like asking questions about certain things. And I'm like, it's on the Google Doc, like check the Google Doc. And eventually we realized that like Will having his own system and Mike having his own system, I said, guys, we just need to all be on the same page here. And we all need to have like our own tabs and keep it housed within the same project. So sounds really silly, but like that's what we do now at each of our meetings that we've mentioned. We go through each of those tabs. So one might be around the budget, one might be around the schedule for the week, one might be around the status of materials, but it's all in one location. I would say that's probably like the main thing that I've brought with me.
Well, you forgot, she also put us all on behavior plan.
Yeah.
I'm on your ongoing behavior plan.
Well, the behavioral plan, I'm sure, is super important. Well, how are you guys? Like, this is different for you. Like, Mike, you normally you wake up at 3:30, and then Lauren, you don't see him until 5:30 or 6 when he gets home. I remember when I first started this full time, and I came home at 5 o'clock, and Holly was like, "What are you doing here?" I have my own routines, my own life, and I do not need it was a little traumatic to see me around at 5 o'clock. So how's that gone?
Well, now it's like, instead of like, oh, what's for dinner? It's like, well, what's for breakfast? Oh, and what about lunch? And then dinner. And I'm like, remember when you used to like feed yourself during the day? Let's get back into that habit, okay?
He spoils me.
You know. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm eternally grateful to Lauren for joining the business. Like I did legitimately think that it was going to be 5 to 10 hours a week. Like I would need her to do some like materials ordering, basically. And then the way that it's evolved, she's become full board 50-50 partner in the business in terms of us dividing up the responsibilities. And the nice thing is, like, she owns what she owns in terms of the design, vendor relationships, making sure everything's there for the contractors, and they're putting her vision into place with the houses. And then I'm doing all of my stuff with the acquisitions and the analysis and the finances and all that stuff. And I feel extremely lucky to have her, because we would not be anywhere close to where we are without her. And obviously I married her because I enjoy being around her. So I love being around her constantly. she probably does not feel the same way.
Yeah, it's good. It's just, we sometimes have like struggles with the balance of like, we're like, sitting at dinner talking about like, we can't help ourselves. Like it's,
Yeah.
We're both passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's boundaries, right? Like not just like boundaries between your roles and not stepping on one another's toes, working in a business together, but like business, personal boundaries. It's hard to, I think it's something that couples have to learn to do is to turn it off. It's not easy.
Yeah. So every once in a while, like she'll tell me to turn it off, or I'll be telling her to turn it off. It goes both ways, but when we do catch each other, it's 7:00 at night, and we're talking about one of the projects and what we're going to do with this challenge that we're running into, and we're like, this can wait until morning because nothing's going to happen right now at 7 or 8 o'clock at night with this project.
Yeah. That is the cool thing about this business. Like when you're working with a hospital, there are fires that you get that call, like it can't wait.
Yeah.
But in this business, one of the things I love about it is there's very few things that are urgent that have to be done right this second.
Yeah.
So, well, I want to jump into this project because this is a big project to take on. I guess this is your second house, right? Like number 2.
Yeah.
Let's go through it. We're going to watch the video. And Lauren, can you walk us through this project? We're going to go back to the before and we'll go through this video and you walk us through like what you saw in this project at the beginning. And you finished this project in like 5 months. And so that's impressive.
Yeah, we started it at the end of April, and then we finished it at the very end of August. So yeah, it was a pretty quick turnaround.
All right, well, here we go.
So 695 Harmony, this, like we said, is our second house. Mike actually acquired this one. Like I was so wrapped up in the first house at the time, and I wasn't involved with this one. And so I remember walking up to this house and just thinking, okay, like I didn't really know where to start. From the outside, sure, like it wasn't too bad. Obviously needed to be painted. We were replacing the windows. It was once we walked inside that I just got a pit in my stomach because I was so worried about the current layout of the house, and like I wasn't sure how we were going, to make it functional and work and appealing to a buyer.
So had Mike already acquired the house when you walked through the?
Excited, so happy, and I remember coming up and I was like, okay, just and just not.
So you're walking through this front door for the very first time. Mike is already committed and acquired this house.
Yes.
The numbers all work, like the analysis, he's gone through all that, but then haven't thought about like the intangibles, like curb appeal, right? Like,
that's not my responsibility.
Yeah. Lauren will figure it out.
So here we go. Lauren walks through the door for the very first time.
So you walk in, and it's, a little bit of an odd setup because you walk up these stairs, and it looks like, so at this point we had already demoed the wall there, where the kitchen was, but you would have to walk up these stairs, you hit the landing, and then you would have to walk back down the stairs to go to the first level of the house.
So it's not like your traditional split foyer where you go in the door, you can go up or you can go down. You actually have to go up and then go up and then go down the other side.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done a lot of houses and I haven't seen that.
Really strange. And so we talked through no big deal. We're just gonna open up the kitchen, and we're going to get rid of those stairs on the other side, and we're going to put them on the other side where we want them to go. I think our contractor lost a little sleep over our design plans for this one because, it was a huge undertaking, getting the stairs to go down to the left. He originally was planning to have them go to the right, but that would interfere with the living room space.
Yeah.
Which we did not want to do. And so, yeah.
But Lauren, from your perspective, this was not a negotiable thing. Like, you knew this had to be, like, it had to find a way.
Yeah.
To change that.
Mike he had even stronger feelings about the stairs going down that other direction. Because we really did not want to interfere. It had like this big, beautiful window in the living room area, and like the living room space isn't big to begin with. So if we had gone to the right when you come in, sure, it's easier to do that, but it just like kind of defeats the purpose because then it's an awkward living space. So I think we both were feeling pretty strongly about relocating the stairs in that direction.
Yeah, definitely.
So we keep going.
Yes. So the plans were, we were opening up that kitchen. So that was more of like an open floor concept. And I also, after, taking a look around the neighborhood at some of the other houses, as well as like checking into some of the other comps at the time, a lot of them have sliding doors that like go out onto a deck. And so the current layout, even if we relocate those stairs, the only way you can get to your yard is by, going down the stairs and then out the back of the first level. And I just thought that was like horrible because it has this beautiful yard with massive trees and it's just like gorgeous, but like we weren't using the space and there was no access to it unless you go down the stairs. And so that was another major sticking point for me.
I kept saying no, and she kept saying yes.
Yeah.
And then she got Ray involved, our construction coach.
I rallied my friends.
Yeah, she like built all these champions to say, yes, we have to do it.
You know what they call that? You know what they call that, Lauren, is leadership.
So tell me your thoughts about this. And he was like, I think that's a great idea. And I was like, Phil, how do you feel? And he was like, I support it. And I was like, all right.
And then she asked our real estate agent. And then, she basically got everyone to side with her. Yeah. To a point where I was like, all right.
Yeah. So it started feeling lonely on the other side of that argument, I'm sure.
Lonely.
But Lauren, did you know this? Like, you walked in the house this first time. Did you know this right away that you knew the floor plan had to change? But then did you also know that you had to add natural light and access to the backyard, like the first time that you walked into it?
I think it was like the second time I walked in, because I think the first time I was to be honest, I was trying to like just process like what just happened and why did we do this? And the second time I was actually thinking more clearly, and I was like, you know what, guys, we need to do this too. Not just the stairs, but now we need to add the deck, because I think it's going to be really important for anyone that, is buying the property. Like, you have this beautiful yard. We are on a busier street. And I just think it would be really important to have access and,
Yeah. So you're at the beginning phase, what we call phase one, where you're doing the design phase and you're putting together the plan for this whole project so that you can communicate it to the contractor.
Yes. And so, we did actually, like, where the current windows are there, that's where the sliding doors went. And then right where I'm pointing right now, that's where we added another window. So there's just like a ton of natural light now. And again, you're looking out into like gigantic, beautiful trees and yard.
Yeah. Just like I planned.
Yeah.
Clearly. No, it's a great yard.
Yeah. But, I was trying to think about like who wants to buy this place. Somebody that's probably going to care about having, a nice private backyard space.
The family.
Right.
So in here, this is where the bathroom was. And there was a closet in that back corner. So we demoed everything and we kind of, cut that space in half so that we could create space for the primary bathroom, and then the shared bath stayed where it was for the upstairs.
You can tell by your finger.
I know.
So
Yeah.
this is a master
bedroom, 2 bath upstairs.
Right.
Because previously it just had one shared bathroom.
Right. These were all the bedrooms. I was a little nervous about the floors, but they ended up turning out great as well.
Yeah, that's always a rewarding part of the project, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, this is the primary bedroom, which we added a closet there. And then downstairs on the first level, Mike doesn't like when I call it a basement, but the first level of the house. Wow, it's kind of crazy to watch this now.
It looks so different.
Yeah. It's like a totally different house now. So down here on the first level, it was just like this big open space. And that's where the new stairs would be coming in. And then we're using that big open space there to create 2 bedrooms for the first level of the house, rather than just having it, be like a open space.
It was like a large family room.
Yeah.
So they weren't using any or utilizing any bedrooms in the first level.
The one right off of the garage they utilized as a bedroom, but we were like, you can't walk from the garage, walk into a bedroom.
Right.
So we turned that space into like a rec room, and then the space that they used as a family room into the 2 additional bedrooms, which.
And then we added a door here where my finger is to lead to the outside.
You go into these houses and some of the layouts, it just makes you wonder, like, it looks like a man designed this, and the women must have had no voice, because like, this would have never happened. Like, these layouts would have never happened if there had been women involved.
So like the current layout, I mean, the only way to access your yard is like to walk around the outside of it. Like, there wasn't even a door downstairs there. I mean, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
So you guys walk in the front door, or Lauren, I guess you walk in the front door the first time, and you see what this can. You have the ability to see what can be. Like, obviously, is a little traumatic.
Yeah.
But you work through that, and you could see what could be. Like, that's a gift that I think people that have it don't give themselves credit for it, because in my experience, most people can only see what is.
Yeah.
And so you could see what could be, and you figured out how to do it. So it wasn't just a matter of you making these decisions. You also had to get this team to buy into these choices.
Yes. Which requires rallying a number of individuals.
Yeah, but that's also that's the fun part, right? Is getting the team to buy into this vision that you have.
Yeah, and I think, I think we're all really good about keeping an open mind. It's more about like, all right, build your case for it,
That's what I always say. That's what I always say, build your case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no doubt there's a lot of strong opinions that go into this phase
Our
1
contractor
design.
wasn't very happy about the stairs going to the left when you walked in, because it was so much more complicated. But I think, at the end of the day, he understood like the value of not interfering with the living space that was already so small.
Yeah, right. All right, so this is a big project. Like, you make the decisions in phase one. You get once you have those decisions made, you put the contractors on the ground and go to work. What adversity did you run into in this particular project?
Well, I guess a lot of them.
Yeah.
It started with the staircase, because we thought it would be like rather simple to just like close up that other staircase that was going down and then relocate it to the other side. But because where we wanted the staircase going down to be located, and because we opened up that wall between the kitchen, we had to install a really, really large support beam. The list goes on. Like, some of the plumbing for the radiators had to be relocated, in which that's not, I asked our contractor, just cut it off and then cap it. And that's just not how it works.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So there were a lot of different things that we ran into, and then as we went downstairs, the floor.
Oh yes, the floor was. What was it? Almost like was it an inch off, or it just completely slanted on the bottom, which it wasn't something we noticed until you removed a lot of. They had like a kitchen sink down there, a refrigerator, and you couldn't see that at the time. But once you removed all that, it was like on a slope in the basement. So that required a lot of work as well to get that level.
Yeah.
We did a phenomenal job because you can hardly notice it now.
Yeah. And then the list continues.
Yeah.
Lauren wanted a deck, so as they're removing that, they realized like a lot of the back, wall was like not in good shape at all, and that whole back section had to be replaced. So we ran into that, which then impacted the siding, which, my mistake already. The siding probably should not have been budgeted to be painted from the beginning. But then we had no choice because we had to rip off, half of the back. So then we had to bring a siding vendor in, which we're really fortunate because Tom Winspear had told us about Allside, and we were able to create a great relationship with them. And now we've been using them as a supplier a lot for siding and windows, but we were able to get great siding from them at a pretty decent price. So it was an increase in our budget, but it wasn't nearly as bad as we thought it would be. But yeah, so we could probably think about 5 other things.
I'm just thinking now. We did get established like 2 great partnerships with Allside.
Yep.
And Sherwin-Williams.
Yep.
Right. And
because of the project.
Right. So good things came out of it. And lessons were learned.
And it turned into a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the beautiful house part. So here's the after.
Yes. So we replaced all of the windows, the siding. Some of that cedar in the front we kept just because that was in good shape still, and it added a little texture to the front of the house.
Wow.
And it's not even recognizable anymore.
It's incredible.
I'm like, I'll live there.
Sometimes Lauren's just like over there hanging out.
A lot of things that you do in life are not tangible, but this particular industry, like you have a tangible end product that you can touch and feel, and it's rewarding in a different way than a lot of other things in life, right?
Oh, for sure.
I had no idea that it, even though we talked about all these changes and, had a vision for it, it turned out way better than I thought it would.
I wish this footage caught the smile on Lauren's face because when it was all finished, she was so happy.
So what were you most happy with, Lauren? Like when you look at this project?
I loved everything. The siding made a huge difference, and just the way this like open layout turned out on the top floor is just incredible. Like I think it's
the light that you added had to have made a massive difference.
Oh yeah. It was so dark and gloomy.
And the visibility to all the trees.
Right.
It just has a really good feel to it.
Anything that you would have done differently up here?
Yeah. There is one thing.
What?
The closet.
Oh, stop. So our contractor has it at court. I said, don't tell us stuff like this, but there was a space. We just didn't think there was a lot going on. There was a space where you walk in that you could have added like a closet.
Yeah.
Now it's like all they can think about it. It doesn't bother me as much, but.
So when we start new projects, I'm like, is there anywhere where we can have that coat closet? We're not gonna worry about that.
Man, the deck looks great.
Yeah, our team did a great job.
Did you build that from scratch?
Yes.
Yeah. So there wasn't a deck on it?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, the construction team they're incredible.
Hardwood floors?
Turned out great. I was a little nervous about them, but I loved the color. Turned out great, and they look like they're in good shape once they refinished and everything.
Yeah, they turned out wonderful.
And the bedrooms, we were worried about one of the bedrooms being small. I think the first one.
The first one we just wanted to, yeah.
But everything, they seemed fine to me. Like good.
No, they're nice size.
Yeah.
Oh, she said she wishes.
Oh, I would have done different bathroom tile, but it is what it is.
I think the tile looks good.
Yeah,
but...
it's fine. The kitchen's nicer than our kitchen.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. Just moving the wall out of the split foyers makes such a difference in the feel of them.
Yeah, and so you go down here, and this is where it was just like this big weird space, and now you have these two really nice sized bedrooms with great closet space in both of them.
We added mini splits too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is vinyl flooring downstairs, but it matched like perfect to the floors upstairs, which I was really happy about.
Yeah, it looks great. So you added two bedrooms downstairs, and did you add a bathroom downstairs as well?
Yes.
It had the bathroom.
It had the bathroom.
There, yeah. And then we got that door that leads to the backyard.
In the pantry.
And the pantry downstairs.
Yeah, you added a lot of value with that first level.
And then the yard was just.
Are those your two kiddos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They love it.
Great.
I know. Oh, you just keep bringing things up, but I know what we will do differently. We won't ever remove a fence again without like talking to neighbors first.
Yeah. We made a big mistake there. So there was an old fence from like the 1980s, and it was like, it was falling apart. Like half of it was
some of it was like open, some of it was bent. Like it was a mess.
Yes.
We didn't think twice about removing it.
So our intention was just to remove it and leave it open because it's so beautiful back there, and there's a ton of trees. So we weren't intending on putting a new fence in. We were just going to remove the old one because it was hideous and falling apart. And of course, like the day after, we get a call from one of our guys that the neighbor came over complaining about us removing the fence because when it was installed in the 1980s, he chipped in on the fence.
Mm. Neighbors never forget. Long memories.
Yeah. So the next day, we had a new fence going up.
Yeah, of course. Well, your two kids in the back in the backyard there, and I'm assuming that they didn't have a whole lot to do with either of your careers in your previous lives. Have they been involved in this at all?
Well,
I mean, so our oldest son, he's always been very fascinated by anything, that has to do with construction. And so, I mean, he comes to a lot of the houses with us. He's been dying to work with our contractor. Like I think he'll do anything,
he does property walks with me too.
Ah,
He loves it.
And he loves it, and he actually like points out some things that like I need to be taking note of. He's
so you ruined him. He'll never look at the world the same way again. Like it's always like real estate opportunities now.
Yeah. And he also like if he sees a distressed house, he'll take our letters and he'll put them in the mailbox. Lauren actually yelled at us the one day because it was a house like a couple blocks from us. She's like, "You can't put one in our neighborhood." So yeah, I would say they're a little bit involved.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Well, so man, what a year this project turned out. It turned out amazing. Like it's a short video, it doesn't capture all the work and all the decisions and all the leadership that goes into it. But man, what a great finished product. And but there's no time to celebrate in this business, right? Because you got 4 other projects going on.
Correct. Yeah, 4 of
it. Yeah, that's the life, and I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you guys and what you're building there. So keep the foot on the gas, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're excited. The 4 projects that we have going right now are cruising along, which is awesome. One of them is like really special. Lauren was out there. It's an old farmhouse, and the before and afters on that one are gonna be out of this world.
Yeah. Is it as big of a construction project as this one?
Yes.
Yeah. You like those big ones, huh?
I guess so. It's pretty competitive here, so we in some cases, you have to stretch yourself, and well, I guess we like stretching ourselves too. So.
Yeah, awesome. It's gonna be really unique and
it's gonna be awesome.
It's a cool one to watch.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on all this and getting it built, and putting that team together and leading the team and being a part of the team. Like that's all such cool stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks.